Oliver Farry joining us from Hong Kong. Oliver, the figures in Shanghai and mainland China still increasing day by day, meaning the measures being applied currently won't be easing yet. And this is leading to quite a lot of discontent.
That's right. China's zero COVID policy has been quite effective over the last couple of years, despite being rather costly in terms of both the economy and logistics. It's managed to keep cases relatively low, but it hasn't really been so in Shanghai over the past month. Cases are now up to 130,000 there. That's by far the greatest number of cases China has recorded since Wuhan in the early days of the pandemic in 2020. Chinese people have been generally quite supportive of the zero COVID policy, but there does seem to be quite a lot of discontent being recorded online, particularly on social media, from people under lockdown. The very fact that they're locked down is not really the problem. It's more the fact that they're having a lot of difficulty getting access to food, be it from food delivery through shops and apps and so on, and also from so-called residence committee that organise deliveries of food. This had previously been seen in other lockdowns, such as in the western city of Xi'an in last December, and this is probably the most critical case at the moment. China has mobilised an awful lot of medical workers, 38,000 from all over the country, to be sent to China to take part in the mass testing. But it is probably more likely that there will be discontent. This is rather similar to Wuhan in the early days of the pandemic. But of course, this time, the cases are nowhere near as severe as they were back then. 120,000 cases recorded today, but 22,000 cases recorded today rather, but most of those are actually asymptomatic or mild. There's still only about 850 or so serious cases recorded in Shanghai.
The government's response to this has so far been to double down really on its this zero COVID policy and send more workers, dispatch workers to Shanghai to assist local authorities.
That's right, and even the People's Liberation Army posted a notice today calling on its personnel to get involved as well with helping with the lockdown and the mass testing. There's no sign whatsoever that China is going to do away with its zero COVID policy anytime soon. A Chinese vice premier published an editorial this week saying that China should have unswerving adherence to the policy, which, as it has to be said, has been relatively successful up until now. Not so much the case in the face of Omicron. And of course, this year is a very important year for Xi Jinping. At the Communist Party conference in October later this year, he will hope to secure a third term. So he doesn't want any particular uncertainties or any bad surprises this year. So it is unlikely that China will be lifting its zero COVID policy this year at least.